Nyamna West and Kirjarga to elect parliamentarian and councillor on Saturday. Hit by a severe water shortage, FAJI KUNDA residents buy gallons of water from NAWEC. These and more coming on GAMBIA24 News. Welcome back. This is GAMBIA24 News with me, Mariama Cham. Thanks for joining us. And now the news in detail. Residents of FAJI KUNDA have raised concerns over an acute water shortage that began 3 months ago. Some residents told iAfrica TV on Tuesday that they are living in a difficult situation as a result of the lack of safe drinking water. Fatmata Kasim tells us more.
The shortage of safe drinking water in the communities of FAJI KUNDA have left residents in a very difficult situation. For the last 2 months or more, they have been struggling to have access to clean water and are forced to move around to places far from their homes in search of water. Some who could not bear the back-breaking effort of walking far distance in search of water have settled for drinking water from local wells. Aissatou Jallow, a resident in FAJI KUNDA, said they have been experiencing access to water problem since the Ramadan in March this year. Jallow and other residents are left without an option but to buy water from the National Water and Electric Company NAWEC for 2 gallons at $25.
Borom pusi ñode indi ñaari bidon 25.
We fetch water from the well or buy it from NAWEC 2 gallons 25. We normally gave the money to the wheelbarrow pushers and they said NAWEC charged them for 25 2 gallons before allowing them to fetch.
For the NM Drame, the National Assembly member for Tumana, who also is a resident in FAJI KUNDA, said the water shortage is a devastating situation. Honorable Drame said he and his brothers use cars to fetch gallons of water from the fire service in Churchillstown and the Atlas petrol station. He said NAWEC must ensure that people enjoy their right to safe drinking water.
Because access to water is not even a privilege, it's not a favor, it's a right. So therefore, we the people of FAJI KUNDA are demanding for the rights. So NAWEC has to look into this issue, make sure that they solve this issue, because this cannot continue.
Aissatou, another resident of FAJI KUNDA, said the issue of water shortage has been a major problem for a long time.
It is 1 week since we have been buying water, and a gallon of water is $10. Water shortage in FAJI KUNDA is a problem.
For some FAJI KUNDA residents like Baba Sisi, the water shortage problem has been on for 3 years now. It started when NAWEC supply water was very limited, available mainly at night, and the water from the taps wasn't enough according to Sisi. Then it started getting worse when they could not even get a single drop of water from the taps.
It's even more than 3 years.
It's more than 3 years now since this has been happening, especially in this compound. During late hours, you will see small droplets of water from the tap, which usually served a few buckets and close again.
Acute water shortages are becoming increasingly frequently across Gambia, especially in the capital Banjul and its surrounding area, where frustrations are mounting. Authorities have announced that they are unable to restore regular supply until at least December. The shortages are preventing many people from doing their daily chores as they will want to. According to local report service, interruptions are unpredictable, widespread, and can at least last for 5 hours per day. For iAfrica TV, I am Fatmata Kasim.
Residents of FAJI KUNDA, they are lamenting the shortage of water in their community. Now, the long-awaited parliamentary and by-elections for Nyamina West constituency will take place this weekend in the Central River region. A local election for the position of councillor for the Kirjarga ward will also be held over the weekend in the North Bank region. More in this report. In the Central River region, the opposition Gambia Democratic Congress (GDC) is vying to retain the Nyamina West seat in the National Assembly, but it faces a challenge from President Adama Barrow's National People's Party (NPP). The Nyamina West seat became vacant in January when the former GDC lawmaker Demba Sow died. Across the River Gambia to the north, 4 candidates from the GDC, NPP, the Alliance for Patriotic Reorientation and Construction APRC, and the United Democratic Party UDP are contesting the councillorship seat for the Kirjarga ward. The seat became vacant after the holder, a former GDC member, joined President Barrow's NPP. Both elections are to take place on Saturday. The Independent Electoral Commission, the body responsible for conducting national elections, said all the necessary arrangements for the smooth conduct of the elections are in place. Until now, no violence has been reported during the campaign for votes, Joseph Coley, the electoral body's public relations officer, said.
So far, so good. There's no major incident, meaning that the people are campaigning, and then of course. No violence, and we're happy that that is happening. At our own end here at the IEC, we have done all the necessary preparations, the registers and all the other logistics are in place. As I'm speaking to you, our returning officers together with our regional electoral officers are taking care of all the drums and the other materials that are going to be used, at the polling stations.
The Nyamina West constituency and Kirjarga ward elections are holding in the middle of a global coronavirus pandemic that has, for much of 2020, restricted large gatherings and movements. Election officials in the Gambia said the conduct of these elections during the pandemic is a form of trial to prepare the West African nation ahead of the 2021 presidential election, especially where there is a second wave of the pandemic. Joe Coley again.
It's a test case in the sense that it is the first activity that we are conducting in the pandemic, that's the COVID-19. So that is why, in as much as we are prepared, we have all the electoral materials. We also have prepared, some materials on the COVID side.
The Electoral Commission has also said that strict COVID-19 measures will be observed during Saturday's election. The Commission was criticized for not holding these elections within 90 days, but it said it couldn't be due to the coronavirus pandemic. The government has since relaxed COVID-19 restrictions and have reopened the country's economy. Reporting for iAfrican News, I am Mariama Cham.
The IEC's preparedness towards this weekend's by-election will take us to a short commercial break. We will be right back. Stay tuned. Welcome back, and now to the rest of our stories. On Wednesday, President Barrow, accompanied by the Secretary General and Head of Civil Service, embarked on a visit to ministries to see the progress of the various ministries. He said it is primary responsibility of the President to monitor the work in the country, and this is why he deemed it fitting to go out and witness it for himself. How various ministries are run. Here is an excerpt.
That you have a duty and a responsibility. If you are given the responsibility to the office, it's a question of trust, and it's also a privilege of preparation. We have been getting a lot of information, but to come and see for ourselves is best. That's why we are here today. I was entering the main door. I was really not happy how the place is managed. That is behind the garden. And you see the dustbins that are there. I think the building also, I don't know whether you have a vault or whatever. As you enter, even the main door, the glass is broken. I think it needs to work. Yeah. And as the head of the PMO, we expect discipline to start from here. Here, we should not compromise discipline, punctuality, and also. So we are advising everybody from now onwards, we want to see change. This country belongs to all of us. I'm privileged to be president. I'm given the responsibility. And my main responsibility is to monitor. That is my job. That's why we get back to you on monitoring. We are not which country, anybody.
That was President Adam Barrow on his unannounced visit to his ministries. Now, the Gambia Central Prison Mile 2 has never been a high-standard correctional center, but when power changed towards in 1994, things turned for the worse until date. President Adam Barrow, in an exclusive interview with iAfrica TV on October 29, said these allegations were not realistic. This is the report.
Several witnesses who testified before the Third Commission said the situation at the Mile 2 prison was never and still not up to standards despite the change of government. The U.S. 2018 Human Rights Report on Gambia indicated that the country's prison conditions were harsh and potentially life-threatening due to food shortages, gross overcrowding, physical abuse, and inadequate sanitary conditions and medical care. Based on the testimonies of former prisoners, the average prisoners in each cell was 35 and sometimes 45. However, President Barrow told iAfrica TV in an interview that the situation at the Mile 2 prison has changed.
That is not a honest statement. That is not realistic. The people who are in the prisons, if you ask them what is happening today in the prison, even the food, the number of prisoners who occupy a cell, and the facilities at their disposal now, and the maintenance that we have carried out there, I'm telling you, it's day and night. Go ask the Director General. It's completely different. It's not the same.
All the prisons in the Gambia are better than Mile 2 as it is not fit for human beings to live. Marlon Tamba, a prison warden and chief officer at Mile 2, told the Third Commission in July this year. The facility is said to be notorious for its grave conditions, torture by guards, and its use in holding political opponents of former President Yahya Jammeh. President Barrow said his government plans to build a new prison in the Gambia because they do not want people to suffer inhuman conditions or to die in prison. But there are no funds yet.
We even wanted to build a new prison. We have costed it, we have a plan and everything. All human rights bodies in the world, we have contacted everybody. Nobody have given us a damn, not one put. We're looking for 25 million to build a correction center. We don't want people to die in prison. We don't want people to go there and suffer. We want people to go there and they are corrected. They are reformed. This is what we want.
The Mile 2 prison is a notorious penal institution in West African nation, the Gambia. It is located on the highway between Serekunda and the capital city, Banjul. Across the road from a military barracks, Mile 2 is officially known as the State Central Prison. During his 22-year rule, Gambia's leader Yahya Jammeh mockingly called the notorious prison Africa's hell on earth. He also was known for swearing in public and threatening his fellow citizens that he will send them to his 5-star hotel, which was Mile 2. Mile 2 was built by British colonists in 1920 in a swampy area infested with mosquitoes and mangroves. Situated along the Banjul Highway, the prison has 3 areas: the security wing, main yard, and remand wing. Reporting for iAfrica News, I am Daisy.
That was President Adama Barrow's reaction on Mile 2 during his interview with Africa TV. Now, Deputy Mayor of Banjul, Omar Toure, has said that the opposition United Democratic Party is the only party in the Gambia that has accorded much opportunity to the youths. He said it is just a matter of time, but the leadership has a transitional program for the youths. More details in this report.
Citing Talib Ahmed Bensouda, Landin B. Sane and himself as examples, Omar Toure, the Deputy Mayor of Banjul, said his party, the UDP, has a future for the youth. Toure told iAfrica TV over the weekend that the UDP is molding the youth to take the leadership baton.
Gambians should know that Talib Bensouda has 30 years. He hasn't got 40 yet. So you can see the future. You have Rohim Malik Low landing as chairman. The local government that we have, it's only youths we have. I am here as a deputy mayor. Have you ever seen a youth deputy mayor like me? It never happened. UDP is the only party giving such opportunity to youths. When was Bakari Baji given an opportunity? Because of political gains, he brought Bakari Baji so that he could get votes from Serekunda, but it wouldn't work. Talib Bensouda has conquered the place. Rohim Malik conquered Banjul, and anywhere you go in the Gambia, we conquered it all.
Ajaratu Yama Sane, the UDP chairperson for Brikama South, said the party is optimistic of winning next year's election.
We are optimistic and have the confidence. In fact, Allah has fulfilled our hopes and aspirations, and it will happen in 2021. This is what Allah has written, and everything has time. Allah ordained that we cannot be part of this government. What I have to tell my fellow women is, let them come and join the UDP government, which is coming. The future of their children and their brothers is the future we are starting, and it is something that has already been sown and will germinate. Anyone who misses it will fail.
Arguably, the United Democratic Party is the dominant political party in the Gambia today. It was the largest and most significant opposition party during the Jammeh era and has gone back to that position after it was removed from the coalition government. The UDP constitutes the majority of the National Assembly and local government authorities in the Gambia. For iAfrica TV, I am Omar Ahmadu Toure.
Those were UDP militants on their party's plans on youth if elected into power. That's all we have for you in today's edition of GAMBIA24. Join us for more news on iAfrica.tv. I was your presenter, Mariama Cham. Stay tuned and enjoy.